$16. That's what it costs to ski here for an entire day. Not $16 per hour. Not $16 for a lift pass upgrade. $16, period. Switzerland charges $200, Austria $180, even Bulgaria costs $70. But here, in mountains taller than the Alps, with powder deeper than Colorado, with landscapes that make Chamonix look ordinary, $16. This is Kyrgyzstan, Central Asia's secret, where the Soviet Union built ski resorts and then collapsed, where nomads still live in yurts at 4,000 meters, where a government just bet everything on becoming the next Courchevel, where Asia's largest ski resort is being built right now, and where almost nobody you know has ever been. Kyrgyzstan, 6.5 million people, 90% mountains, landlocked between China and the former Soviet states. Most people can't find it on a map. Most people can't pronounce it. Most people have never heard of it. The Tien Shan, Celestial Mountains in Chinese, 7,000 meters at their highest. These peaks shaped the Silk Road. They stopped armies. They created cultures. And now, after 70 years of Soviet isolation, followed by 30 years of independence, they're about to transform again. "250 kilometers of ski runs, 850,000 visitors annually, $2 billion invested. The president of Kyrgyzstan personally visiting Courchevel, Aspen, Whistler, studying them, learning from them, determined to build Central Asia's first world-class ski destination. Construction started August 2025. First slopes open December 2026. This isn't coming. This is happening right now. Karakol, population 70,000, 400 kilometers from the capital, gateway to the mountains. This town sits at 1,700 meters elevation, higher than most European ski resorts' peak, and the skiing? It starts here and climbs another 1,500 meters up. Karakol Ski Resort opened in Soviet times, 1982, built to train Olympic athletes. Then the USSR collapsed. The resort survived, barely, but it kept running. And now, with new investment, new lifts, new infrastructure, it's being reborn. The lift climbs to 3,040 meters. At the top, a view opens that makes logic fail. Peak after peak after peak. Some with names, most without, stretching to horizons in every direction. This is the Tien Shan, and this is just the beginning. The snow here is different, colder, drier. Central Asian powder that behaves like nothing else. It doesn't pack, it doesn't clump, it just floats, like skiing through clouds. And the terrain, endless. You can see runs that have never been skied, bowls that have never seen tracks, ridges that no one has named. because there aren't enough skiers here to explore it all. Not yet. $16 buys access to all of it. The groomed runs, the tree skiing, the bowls, the backcountry gates, everything. No upcharges, no premium passes, no exclusions, just skiing. Raw, unfiltered, uncomplicated skiing. In the Alps, you pay $200 and share the mountain with thousands. Here, you pay $16 and ski alone. The math shouldn't work, but it does. But skiing is new here. Mountains are not. Kyrgyz people have lived in these mountains for centuries, not as farmers, as nomads, following animals, following seasons, living in yurts that pack on horses and move with the grass, even now, even in winter, even at 4,000 meters. The word Kyrgyz means 40 tribes. These mountains were never conquered. They were survived. Soviet collectivization tried to settle the nomads. Failed. Chinese expansion tried to absorb them. Failed. The mountains protected them. The mountains made them, and the mountains are still here. Eagle hunting, falconry taken to extremes, training golden eagles to hunt wolves, foxes, even deer. A tradition thousands of years old, passed father to son, practiced still in winter in these mountains. Because some skills matter more than modernization. Issyk-Kul, warm lake, the second largest alpine lake in the world. 182 kilometers long, 60 wide, sitting at 1,600 meters, surrounded by peaks over 5,000 meters, and it never freezes. The reason is thermal springs feeding from below, heating the lake from inside, creating a microclimate where palm trees grow at a latitude similar to Montreal, where the water temperature in winter stays above 4 degrees, where you can ski in the morning and swim in the afternoon, and both decisions make sense. The Soviet Union built sanatoriums here, health resorts, training centers. They knew what this place offered. What they didn't know is that it would survive them. Alatu, the project that changes everything. 250 kilometers of trails, 40 lifts, 8 villages, hotels, restaurants, shops, an entire ski ecosystem being built from nothing. The president's goal is simple: make Kyrgyzstan a ski destination that rivals the Alps. Make it affordable enough that Central Asians can come. Make it luxurious enough that Europeans will. Create something that's never existed in this part of the world. Skeptics say it won't work, that Central Asia can't compete with Europe. That infrastructure takes decades. That timing is wrong. They said the same thing about Dubai, about Iceland, about every place that refused to accept limits. First slopes open in 14 months, full resort operational by 2030, and Karakol, the Soviet leftover, the $16 anomaly, becomes the gateway to something unprecedented. To understand Kyrgyzstan's ambition, you have to understand its identity. This is a nation that gained independence in 1991, 34 years old, younger than most people reading this, a nation still figuring out what it wants to be. "70 years of Soviet rule left marks. Russian is still spoken. Soviet architecture dominates. Statues of Lenin still stand, but underneath, Kyrgyz identity, nomadic culture, Islamic faith, tribal loyalty, clan structure, all surviving, all adapting." Sherdaks, traditional felt carpets, made by pressing dyed wool together. Patterns representing mountains, animals, protection against evil. Each one unique, each one taking weeks, made the same way for centuries. Sold now in bazaars where Chinese goods compete with tradition, where the past and future negotiate prices. Lagman, Central Asian noodles, Chinese in origin, Kyrgyz in execution, hand-pulled until they're thin as shoelaces. Served in broth with meat, peppers, garlic, eaten everywhere. Comfort food for mountains. Plov, the national dish. Rice cooked with lamb, carrots, onions. Every celebration, every funeral, every Friday. Plov, eaten with hands from a communal plate, because utensils create distance, and distance undermines trust.
Homemade pie mat given to us by one of the villagers. It's a thick cream served with bread and it was
Kyrgyz hospitality isn't optional, it's identity. A guest refuses food, they insult the host's honor. A host serves less than their best. They insult their own name. This isn't performance for tourists. Tourists barely exist here. This is culture functioning as design. Survival through connection. Generosity as defense against mountains that kill the selfish. These mountains weren't always about skiing. They were about surviving, about crossing. The Silk Road cut through here, not one road, many. Paths chosen by season, by politics, by rumor of bandits. Always dangerous, always necessary. Merchants carried silk from China to Rome, spices from India to Europe, ideas from everywhere to everywhere else. And Kyrgyzstan, then just tribes, just valleys, just mountains, sat at the crossroads, traded safety for taxes, offered rest in exchange for goods, survived by being useful to travelers who brought wealth from distance. Petroglyphs carved 2,000 years ago still mark paths. Buddhist, Nestorian Christian, Islamic, all passed through, all left traces, all needed these mountains to continue west. The Silk Road wasn't just economics. It was proof that impossible distances could be crossed if the reason mattered enough. Now China's Belt and Road Initiative rebuilds those routes. Highways, railways, economic corridors. The Silk Road returning, different goods, same geography, same truth. These mountains either connect the world or divide it. Kyrgyzstan keeps choosing connection. Night skiing here is different. No crowds, no noise, just lights cutting through darkness and stars so dense they create shadows. At -20 Celsius, snow squeaks underfoot. Breath crystallizes instantly. The cold isn't comfortable, it's clarifying. It reminds you that survival here is privilege, not right. That mountains don't care about ambition or investment or government plans. They just are, and we're just borrowing time on their slopes. Soviet cosmonauts trained here. Altitude, cold, isolation, conditions similar to space. Learning that survival requires accepting what you cannot change. That some environments demand adaptation, not conquest. Kyrgyzstan's mountains taught them that, before teaching them stars. Kyrgyzstan, 4 hours east of Karakol, population 200, maybe. A valley so narrow the sun arrives late and leaves early. Soviet mining collapsed here in '91. The mines closed, the people left, the valley went silent. For 20 years, nothing. Empty buildings, shuttered schools, a valley that forgot purpose. Then someone noticed the mountains. Not for minerals, for skiing, free-ride terrain, 45-degree couloirs, spines that test nerve before skill. Snow conditions that change by aspect, by altitude, by hour. No lifts, no grooming, no compromise. Just mountains doing what mountains do. And skiers willing to earn turns. The valley found new purpose. Guest houses opened, guides returned. Young people who'd left for Bishkek came back. Not many, not yet, but enough to keep a school open, enough to light windows at night, enough to prove that valleys can survive by offering what they have, not what they were. Tash Rabat, 15th century, maybe older, caravanserai carved from stone at 3,600 meters. 30 rooms, walls 2 meters thick, built where nothing else exists. Silk Road merchants stopped here, paid for shelter, traded news, survived nights where temperatures dropped to -40. The architecture wasn't beautiful, it was functional. Thick walls against wind. Low ceilings to trap heat, darkness that protected against bandits who couldn't navigate corridors without light. In winter, snow buries access roads for months. The fortress stands alone. No visitors, no guards, just stone that remembers passage, silk that crossed empires, horses that died climbing passes, merchants who gambled distance against profit, and sometimes lost. Songkul, 3,016 meters, higher than most European summits. A lake 9 kilometers wide, 18 kilometers long, frozen from November to May, temperature dropping to -35 at night. Nomads live here in winter, not because it's easy, because it's theirs. Animals need grazing that valley snowberries. The lake plateau stays clear. Wind scours snow away, exposes grass. So families move up in November, bring yurts, bring herds, bring children, stay until spring.
Arslan Bab, the largest walnut forest in the world. 600,000 hectares. Trees planted, according to legend, by Alexander the Great's army. More likely, older, much older. These trees grow at 2,000 meters. They shouldn't. Walnuts prefer valleys. Chuashu Pass. 3,586 meters. The road connecting Bishkek to southern Kyrgyzstan. Closed 100 days per year. Not by schedule. By snow. By avalanche. By wind that makes steering impossible. When passes close, cities separate. Osh cannot reach Bishkek. Families cannot visit. Commerce stops. The country divides into north and south.
After a day at Karakol, after $16 bought vertical that would cost $200 elsewhere, after powder that rivals Japan, and terrain that matches Alaska, you return to town, Soviet-era buildings, streets named after cosmonauts, a bazaar where wool hats cost $3, and taste matters more than presentation. Ashlium Fu, a cold soup made from starch jelly, vegetables, vinegar, chili. Sounds wrong, tastes perfect. Costs $1. Served in a place with no English menu, no credit cards, no compromise. This is Karakol. Take it or leave it. But if you leave it, you're missing something. Dungan Mosque, Chinese Muslims who fled China, settled here, built this in 1910, without a single nail, wood, skill, faith, across the street. Russian Orthodox Church from the same era, neither bothering the other, both surviving Soviet atheism, both still functioning, coexistence not through policy, but through necessity. Here's the truth about Kyrgyzstan that tourism boards won't tell you. This isn't gentle, this isn't easy. Winter here is -30. Roads close for months. Facilities are Soviet era.
But that's not weakness, that's honesty. Kyrgyzstan isn't pretending to be Switzerland. It's offering something Switzerland lost decades ago. Authenticity, access, affordability, the feeling that mountains still belong to people willing to earn them, not just buy them. $16 means locals can ski, families can ski, students can ski. Skiing here isn't luxury, it's recreation. The way it started, the way it was supposed to stay, before resorts became real estate, before mountains became investments. The Alatu resort will open, construction will finish, luxury hotels will rise, and Kyrgyzstan will change. Maybe it becomes the next Portugal, maybe it becomes Central Asia's Aspen, maybe it finds something in between. But right now, this moment, Kyrgyzstan is something rarer. It's a secret that won't stay secret. A place affordable before luxury arrives. An opportunity to ski mountains that rival the world's best before the world discovers them. $16. That's what it costs today, tomorrow, next year, after Alatu opens. No guarantee. Change comes whether we're ready or not. The only question is whether we arrive before or after. This is Kyrgyzstan. The Alps nobody knows. The mountains that trained cosmonauts. The $16 secret that won't last. The place where nomads still live at 4,000 meters and governments bet billions on transformation. Where Soviet infrastructure meets 21st century ambition. Where the Silk Road memory still guides decisions. The mountains don't care if you come. They were here before empires. They'll be here after resorts. They're patient, eternal, indifferent. But the price, the access, the moment when mountains this magnificent remain this affordable, that expires. The question is whether you get there before it does.